Many of you out there are finding out that eustachian tube dysfunction is a lot more challenging to get rid of than it originally appeared. It was maybe something after a cold, you were struggling with congestion issues, you're having clogging in the ears, and after it all concluded, you still have this nagging, clogging, fullness sensation in the ears. I'm going to go over a few things that you can try that will hope open up a door of healing for you, because like many of you out there are struggling with no answers online really. You might stumble across my videos or others that have talked about it, but you're still trying to figure out why is it hanging around. A couple of things that I want to keep in mind. A lot of you that are still fighting eustachian tube dysfunction, you need to think about a couple of things here. When I was going through this course of finding healing myself, there was a lot of things that I was missing and a lot of things I was doing. One thing is, when you're struggling with this condition, I was picking up that coffee and drinking that coffee throughout the day. And then later I would find out that my ears would feel so much worse. Not only just in one ear, but both ears. Tinnitus was starting to become more of a problem. Equilibrium issues, feeling off balance. These are all symptoms that come up with eustachian tube dysfunction. And I always thought to myself, it has to be something in my diet. It has to be something in my outlook, the way I'm thinking. But little did I know, when I would drink that coffee, specifically coffee, I would start to feel this funky sensation in my ears even worse than before. My cortisol levels were going through the roof because that's what coffee does. It applies a lot of benefits in terms of antioxidants. It gives you energy, natural energy in a sense, if you're not draining it with lots of additives, sugars, and milk. But coffee was a big, giant problem for me, and it was really becoming an issue, so I had to completely cut it out of my diet. But a couple of things I do want to keep in mind for you all out there that are struggling with this condition is just not going away. Because that's what I'm finding with a lot of people out there is the biggest problem is just lasting forever. Some of you have gotten to the point where it's manageable. Others are dealing with it on a highly severe basis. But then it starts to attack the mental side of things. It starts to attack the brain. It starts to attack the way you feel, your mood. You start becoming more worried. And when you tell others about this, they don't understand the dynamic of that your ears could be causing these problems. A lot of you are been doing your homework and research and realize that the inner ear has a lot to do, the middle ear has a lot to do with your mood, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you even digest food. There was times where if my ears were plugged, I suddenly didn't have an appetite. I couldn't really sit at the table because my eyes were all in this funky, weird, imbalance feeling, and the equilibrium was off. So it was just, when you feel a little uneasy and unsettled, it's hard to digest food. It's hard to want to eat. It's hard to bring your appetite up. One thing I want you all to realize this. Check with your dental care. Keep in mind that if you're dealing with eustachian tube dysfunction, it's not always just in the ear canal. It's not always something that simple. And that's what a lot of physicians are not understanding. I hate to say it, but they're not. They're giving you medication for allergies when really it's not something in the ear canal. It could be a lot of other things. It could be your dental health. If your dental health is suffering, you haven't been to the dentist often, and if you have been to the dentist, you may have a wisdom tooth that could be coming in, and it could be infected. You could have some issues going on with that tooth that's causing a lot of inflammation in this ear region right here, right where your eustachian tube is laying there. You can have issues with the teeth and the gums, and then it starts affecting the muscles around it. I didn't know of all these things, but I had all these things checked out. I had my teeth checked constantly. I was going to the dentist. And so ultimately, like many of you who have followed me and my story and now becoming an advocate of eustachian tube dysfunction, I'm finding out it can be a multitude of things that can be going wrong. So I want to throw a lot of things out there so then you can develop a checklist and say to yourself, okay, I've tried that, haven't tried that, and then you can start making a determination of what your particular problem is. But you want to make sure that, number one, check with your dentist, check with your dental care, really get back there when you brush. A lot of times we brush and we don't go way back there because of our gag reflexes and things like that. It's a little uncomfortable, but you really need to get way back there and brush your teeth very well back there and try to get rid of a lot of abscess or anything that could be cavities, gingivitis. These things could all affect areas where your ear is and ultimately give you eustachian tube dysfunction, and we're not aware of that. The other thing is, you want to be cautious with how you manage your stress. Now, I know this isn't going to be easy to digest. It's not even going to be easy to say because it's something that we can't always control. But have a lot of you realize that there is a substantial level between how we start interpreting things and stressing to how our ears feel, or they actually are connected to our stress levels. When you begin to stress, you start to put a lot of, like again, I mentioned your cortisol levels, they start to rise. When they start to rise, blood vessels start to expand, which ends up happening in our ears. Our eustachian tubes the muscles and the surrounding tissues begin to swell up, causing clogging, which then causes equilibrium off balance feelings, which then causes headaches because we're having some pressure here in our ears, which then trigger a lot of surrounding muscles in the jaw, which then can go down the neck, cause muscles up into the skull, into the brain, causing a lot of mental issues in terms of how we think, how we feel. So this condition is just not going to be healed with eardrops. It's going to be healed with being aware of how we control and manage our stress. You may say, how do I do that then? Well, you have to do something very important. You have to stop anticipating your next symptom, because it's going to get easy to do that. I was doing that all the time. I was like, okay, I actually feel okay right now, but when is it coming back? And ultimately it ended up came back harder and worse, way far worse than if I had just enjoyed what I was doing, get myself surrounded in the atmosphere of what I'm doing. So try to manage and control your thoughts, your stress, and again, cortisol levels, which highly stimulate the body in a negative way. And then, of course, if you're drinking coffee, that's going to flare up things around the jaw. It's going to flare up a lot of problems for you. So be very cautious about those things. And again, dental health is extremely important. And I will leave you with this last thing to keep in mind is you have to utilize massages. You have to massage the ears. You have to get in there and really massage those ears. You have to move the blood around. You have to keep circulation going in the jaw region and in the ears. I cannot stress how important that is, because again, if you are in the phase where now the cortisol levels have shot up, you're starting to feel the tense, the swelling, the clogging, massaging those ears is going to start loosening the surrounding muscles and tissue around, which then is going to give you more mobility. It's going to help you feel much better in that area. And then you're going to be, if you're feeling loose and open and your ears are open, you're going to start healing, which then is going to help your mood, which then is going to help a lot of areas in your anxiety and depression. I developed anxiety over this condition. So I really want all of you to keep this, these I would say I don't know if that was 3 facts or 4 facts or whatever it was. I want you to keep that in mind when you're dealing with this condition. Some of you are in the early phases. Some of you are in 5 years now, 10, 15, 20. And no matter where you are in the process, these are going to be the building blocks that's going to incorporate everything else. And of course, for me, it was red light therapy. That was my game changer for me. And it's helped me stay loose. It helped me keep the blood circulating. The key to healing the ear and the eustachian tube is good blood circulation. That's what the key is. Good blood circulation comes from a good diet, good sleep, comes from lack of stress. That's all incorporated into the relaxation. And again, keep your mouth, gums, teeth very cleared out and clean. I do also recommend maybe using a mouth rinse or mouthwash, maybe something in that effect to keep all the germs out of your mouth, keep your ears and things open, because you're going to keep a lot of the areas inside your mouth clean. And again, our teeth are so close to that eustachian tube, it's not even a joke at all. So I hope this video was very helpful for some of you here. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to bring as much content out there as possible. I try to cover many topics in the health and wellness field, but recently I became a full-blown advocate for eustachian tube dysfunction. For those that are subscribed to the channel, that are here for those videos, I'm going to keep kicking those out as well. So subscribe, share with your friends. I hope that some of this information became very useful for you and you continue to try to do these things. And if not, stick around for more videos, as I will be covering more topics to help you with other things. So take care, everybody. Talk to you real soon.